My name is Dr. Kemi. I am the daughter of a high-ranking politician who has served 51 appointments in 63 years. I'm Olulu Olunloyo. My father has been in PDP. My father has been in APC. My father has been in every government in Nigeria. He started at 26 years old as the youngest commissioner during the Tafawa Balewa administration when Nigeria had regional governments. He was a commissioner for Fani Kayode and Akitola in the Western region. My grandfather, Samuel Akinyemi, was Nigeria's first Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG. My grandfather worked alongside IGP Finlay. Inspector General Finlay was a British man appointed by the Queen, and Queen Elizabeth also appointed my grandfather as the first indigenous Deputy Inspector General. That's what they called them at that time. Today, you can see DIGs everywhere. My grandfather, Horatio Olunloyo, died at 42 years old in 1948. My dad was 13 at Government College, Ibadan, when they came to tell him that his father had died. My father's roommates in that dormitory, that same dormitory is there till today. I visited it, and there are boys in there. And I told them the famous four who lived in here. Professor Wale Soyinka slept on the bunk bed on top of my dad. Late Lekan and Professor Akinkunbe, they were on the other bunk bed. Professor Akinkunbe, as you know, was a very, very dynamic Nigerian doctor. Lekan was also a very big dynamic media and entrepreneur in Nigeria. Professor Wale Soyinka, need I tell you that, is a Nobel laureate, and everybody knows Wale Soyinka. And then Olulu Olunloyo, mathematician of the diaspora and politician. Nigeria just didn't start yesterday. I'm telling you the history of four men who shaped Nigeria, and two of them are still alive. My dad is 89. Professor Soyinka is 90. I was born 60 years ago in the next 48 hours, August 6th, 1964. I will be 60 on Tuesday. And when I came home after the hospital, Professor Soyinka carried me. He would have been the first person because he lived next to us in University of Ibadan. And my dad was a lecturer. My mom was working at secretariat, and you know how it is, lecturers and their friends. And I've known Uncle Wale for so long. Now to sit here on August 3rd, 2024, at 59.89 years old. Uncle Wale turned 90 this year, by the way. He was 30 when I was born. Congratulations to him. To sit down here and tell you the history of Nigeria. When I grew up, at 10 years old, I entered St. Teresa's College. And we were told, what do we want to be when you grow up? And I mentioned three things. I said I wanted to be a pilot, not flight attendant. We call them air hostesses. People were laughing at me in the class, and I was like, no, I don't want to be an air hostess. I said pilot, the person driving the plane. Or a pharmacist, the person giving the medicine. Or a news reporter, journalist, the person giving the news. Notice that all my professions, when I was 10 years old, were people in charge, the front line of each of the professions. Today, I've retired 30 years from journalism, 1994 to 2024. I'm still a pharmacist, a consultant, 35 years, 1989 to 2024. The pilot part I never became, but I'm a very big airline buff, aviation buff, plane spotter. I know everything about airlines, and I study a lot of the dynamics of the engineering. I'm a very big fan of aircraft engineering. As you know, if you remember the tweet that I tweeted to Emirates, and they replied about the 22 tires on the A380s. Houses in the sky with shower and everything. First class ticket, $36,000. I had a goal and I achieved a lot of my goals. When I said on Facebook before I left my fan page was everything I wanted to do in this life, I've already achieved it. So what's next? I want to serve God. I said that. But many of you have not achieved anything because you're waiting for the government to achieve it for you. I teach content creation. I teach monetization. I've been doing it from 2016. In 2014, Punch featured me for some of this stuff. And in 2022, I started a school. In 2024, I taught some of you content creation and monetization. I charged you $100. It went up to $150. I brought it down to 30,000 Naira. I brought it down to 2,000 Naira last week and I ended it. I even did 2 classes free. But some of you don't pay attention because they've told you that Kemi Olunloyo is a mad woman, so you lost out. And now you're asking me for all these things. It's gone. You must take advantage of things when you have them, because once you lose them, you can't have them again. And that's what happened to me, and that's why I left Nigeria quietly, January 2023. I left my home. I'm telling you this because I want you to know that nothing changes in Nigeria. You cannot make it in Nigeria unless you know someone prominent or at the top in public office or in the private sector. Nigeria is not designed for you to make it. You cannot make it in Nigeria. You need to leave Nigeria to make it, or you need to know someone. Where are your rich friends? There are people who work for the government. They don't work in the government. They work for the government. Many of them are Nollywood girls who have affiliations with politicians. Yabojo is one of them. I say that with my full chest. Okay? Look at what Hush Puppy told the FBI. Look at the names he mentioned. He mentions Tucker's name. He mentioned Linda's name. He mentioned Dino. He mentioned Bukola. Everybody that he had any kind of business to do with in exchange for that plea deal they gave him. He mentioned so many names. And the women's names he mentioned, he said he left money with them. He kept money with them. How can those ones go tell the FBI now that they kept money with me? Is that not how Nigeria has been working from day one? Why did they kill Okotiebo in the 1966 coup? They said he was a thief. The Minister of Finance was the only minister they killed. Okotiebo was hiding money with Ibru. He kept money with Ibru. When he died, what happened? The Okotiebo children went to the Ibrus to sue for their father's money, which is Nigeria's money. And what happened? They couldn't get that money. Ibru started businesses upon businesses upon businesses. Ibru transportation, Ibru fisheries, Ibru. The Ibrus can be watching this video and come and challenge me. When Michael Ibru died, what did I do? Did you all not keep quiet? When Janet was fighting over them, saying you should go and get a DNA test. Is it not Nigeria's money you're fighting over? The same thing with Terry Wire and Abacha. Abacha kept a lot of... My father worked for Abacha in the confab because he wanted peace. Did Abacha leave so much money with Terry Wire and hid money with him and kept money? Terry can say, yeah, he kept some money with me. It was his own personal money. Da ba 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 ba. Abacha has been accused of diverting money all over the place, but then the whole Libya, oil, America, CIA thing was also there. But at the end of the day, if somebody keeps a lot of money with me and they die, what happens to that money? It's mine now. That's how it works in Nigeria. And Terry Wire became a billionaire. And his son, Kid Wire, does not even know anything about the history of Nigeria and what I'm saying right now. Nigeria is never going to change. For you to make the change, you have to continue those protests. You have to continue speaking. If you can't go out to protest, protest online. Nigerian police do not arrest people for any cybercriminal nonsense. That cybercriminal law, we're going to take it down very soon. And I'm going to be the leader of that protest. The leader of that, because I'm going with the international media. We don't need that law in Nigeria anymore. Let journalists